Okay, so welcome ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be very quickly going through everything you're going to need to do in order to get your own custom liveries for Tower Simulator 3. You can do this to replicate real-world airlines if you want, or if that's not so up your alley, then you can make fictional airlines for your schedules if you want. This works well with my previous tutorials on how to make custom airlines and schedules for Tower Simulator 3, so if you don't know how to do that, then I'd certainly recommend checking them out. The links will be in the top right corner of your screen now, and they'll also be in the description. And so let's get on with the tutorial. So I've started off by setting us up with a fairly blank schedule. We've got a Latitude aircraft coming in at 9:02. This will be in the BTRP plane. So if we go into the plane dataset, we can see we've got a plane there. So we will today just be customizing this livery, but the same practices apply for customizing any livery for the game. So I will start off by going out here. So this is the main Tower Simulator 3 directory. This is the airports file that we were editing in previous videos. Then just above it is the airplanes one. This is the default one. Whatever you do, never edit the default folder. That's your fallback in case everything goes wrong. So we're going to copy and paste that. And then I will just call it test. Then if we go in here, we are in the BTRP plane because that's the one that we've got set in our schedule and that we're customizing today. And then we want latitude. So this is the livery. It's a bit jumbled. It's not so easy to understand. So this will look slightly different for every plane. They're not going to be the same. But for this one, we can see that this just about looks to be something like the tail. Here we can see the windshield, and then along here is the sides. You've got the windows and the text for the name of the airline. This looks to me to be the belly of the aircraft, and then the rest you've just sort of got to figure out through trial and error over and over and over until eventually you can find what each part of the livery file does. And then this is a light emission thing that decides how light is reflected off the aircraft into the surrounding area, which is useful for whenever you're controlling at night. So if you want to do things properly, you're going to want to change both of these files. So I'm going to start off just by editing this one. I'm going to open it with the photo editor called GIMP. You can do this with any photo editor you're familiar with. If you're not familiar with any photo editors, I'd recommend Canva. That's always a good choice for beginners. So this is the file just here. I'm going to add a new layer at the top just because I want to be able to revert back to the original for something we're going to be doing slightly later in the tutorial. And then I am going to fill the thing with this quite obnoxious pink. So the whole thing is pink here. And then I will overwrite the original. So this is now, if we go back into our folder, the texture file is now just a pure pink. So when we load into the game, the plane should appear as a solid pink color. So I'm just going to launch it now, and then we will see what it looks like, and then we can go into further customizations later. Just note that we're in the main loading screen here, and to load into Heathrow, I've made sure that I've set the time for 9 in the morning, which is when our schedule will start. The radar style doesn't matter. Database, as long as it's the one with your custom schedule, your testing schedule, then that is fine. And then the important thing to set is the airplane set. So when we were in the folder, we went Tower Simulator 3 and then airplanes. We copied the default one and we renamed it to something different. Whatever you renamed it to is what this will be. So make sure it's set to that, otherwise you're just not going to see any results. So I've loaded into the game here, and we can see that the plane that's loaded in now is a all-pink aircraft. It's not exactly realistic, but it gets the point across that what we're trying to do does work. So now we can try and make a more realistic livery. Now that we know that that works, I'm going to delete the test layer, and then we can go in and customize the livery a bit more. So obviously you can customize this however you want, but I'm going to try and customize it so it is black mostly. So I'm going to replace all this red with black, make the tail black, and then I will try and put the channel logo on it. So we'll just try that now. We'll get it as close as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a demonstration, but you get the idea now that you can customize these liveries however you want. Okay, so this is as far as I decided to go. I only wanted to change that color and put the logo on. I'm going to overwrite this now, and then we'll load into the game and we'll see if it works. I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I'm not expecting those logos to be aligned anywhere near what we want them to be. But hopefully it'll make the point that you can change these files as much as you want to your heart's content, and you can make them look like something really special if you really want and you put the time in. But it will take a lot of trial and error. Okay, so you can see here that our customizations did do something. So we've got the logo there. It's not really anywhere close to what I was hoping for, with the entire tail being black. But that is perfectly fine. You can't expect perfection for a first attempt. Hopefully you'll have more luck and you'll have a bit more time to figure out exactly how you want it to look. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, and yes, good luck making them look perfect.